The twin suns of Varellin Prime burned bright above the great arena. Thousands of alien voices echoed across the towering walls. They cheered, screamed, and roared, hungry for the next fight. In the center of the circular stage, a human lay broken. Blood ran from a deep wound on his side. His right arm hung limp. His uniform dirty, torn, and soaked with sweat was the last memory of a lost battle. The aliens laughed. Not just any aliens. These were nobles, high-born elites from the Zaranthian Empire. They wore shining robes, armor made of crystal metal, and golden badges that showed their rank. Their skin shimmered like burning coal. Their eyes glowed like violet fire. One of them stepped forward, taller than the rest, wearing a long robe of dark purple and silver. His name was Lord Vezith III. He was a powerful noble ruler of 3 star systems, conqueror of 16 species, and most recently, the man who defeated Earth's last defense fleet. He looked down at the human with a cruel smile. "This," he said loudly, raising his hand, "is what remains of the human threat." The crowd roared with laughter. The human tried to move. His body shook with pain. He reached out with his only good hand, touching the ground. The arena floor was made of black stone, smooth and warm. He pressed his fingers into a small crack. No one noticed except one. High in the tower above the arena, a Zaranthian technician was watching the panel of blinking lights. One light, blue and forgotten, suddenly turned green. He frowned. "What is that?" he muttered. He tapped the screen. A message popped up. "Signal detected. Origin, old Earth code, frequency, locked. Command level, unknown." His eyes widened. "That's impossible." Back in the arena, Lord Vezith circled the human like a predator. "This creature," he said, "attacked my capital ship. Alone. Brave, yes, but foolish." He leaned close to the human's face. "You should have stayed on your dying planet." The human slowly looked up. Blood dripped from his chin, one eye swollen shut, but the other eye, sharp, alive, and burning with something else. Not fear, not anger. Patience. He whispered. "Laugh while you can." Vezith raised a brow. "What was that?" The human smiled. "She heard me." Before Vezith could ask who she was, the arena floor trembled, just for a second. Not enough for most to notice, but Vezith did. He turned to the technician tower. "Status?" The voice crackled in his ear. "All systems normal, my lord." Vezith waved a hand. "Very well. Then begin the final act." 2 guards entered the arena, carrying electric spears. They moved toward the human, ready to finish him. The crowd cheered again, but the human didn't resist. He sat still, eyes closed, fingers still touching the crack in the stone. Suddenly, a sharp tone rang across the arena. One of the guard's weapons powered down. "What?" the guard said, tapping the handle. Nothing happened. The other guards' helmet screen flickered, then went black. "Lord Vezith," the technician's voice came again, now shaking. "Some kind of interference is spreading." "It's coming from beneath the arena," Vezith frowned. "From where?" "The arena core. It's reacting to the human." "That's not possible," Vezith snapped, but it was. Far below the arena, deep in the rock, an old machine hung to life. Covered in dust and darkness, its metal face glowed with soft blue light. It had been sleeping for 487 years. Now, it woke. Code recognized. Commander signal received. Project Aurora, Stage 1 initiated. In the arena, the human opened his eyes. He looked up at the sky. High above, in low orbit, a dead satellite half covered in rust lit up for the first time in centuries. A small pulse shot across space. A message: "He is alive." The guards moved again, ignoring the tech glitches. One of them raised his spear. "End this." The human looked up at him and said softly, "You should run." The guard laughed. He never finished. The ground beneath him exploded upward, throwing both guards into the air. A massive metal claw burst from the stone, grabbing the human's body and pulling him below before the dust cleared. The crowd gasped. Chaos followed. Lord Vezith shouted, "Seal the floor! Find him!" But he was already gone. Inside the arena's understructure, the human was lowered gently into a glowing chamber. Machines scanned his body. A soft voice spoke around him. "Welcome back, Commander Elias." He winced. "Took you long enough." Systems were dormant. Activation required your DNA and command code. Protocol Aurora now active. Shall I proceed? He nodded weakly. Begin. Back in the control tower, the technician stared at the screen. Dozens of alerts now blinked red. Systems were being overwritten. By human code. Old Earth code. "Sir," he called Vezith, voice shaking. I think you made a mistake." Vezith's face twisted in confusion and rage. It was one human. "No, sir," the tech replied. "It was a message." He triggered. Something ancient. Inside the chamber, Elias took a deep breath. His wounds were already being patched by nanobots. His strength slowly returning. He looked into the glowing interface and spoke. "Time to remind this empire who we are. 500 years ago, Earth, final war days. The sky above Earth was red with fire. Giant alien ships rained destruction across cities. The world was falling. Inside an underground human base, deep beneath the Himalayas, a group of scientists worked. In silence, the main screen showed a blinking message. Project Aurora, 94% upload complete. Dr. Layla Hussein, one of Earth's last AI architects, wiped sweat from her face. "How long until full upload?" A tech beside her answered, 6 more minutes, but they're coming." "Keep going," she said. "This code isn't just survival, it's memory, it's revenge." Behind her, a large capsule lit up. Inside it, a young soldier lay in cryo-sleep. His name, Elias Wren. Dr. Layla whispered, "Sleep well, Commander. You'll wake when they forget how dangerous humans can be." Present, deep below the arena, Zaranthian Empire Commander Elias opened his eyes slowly. The chamber lights glowed blue. Machines repaired his body while a soft female voice echoed around him. Vitals stabilized. "Nanits active. Muscle restoration, 34%. Elias took a deep breath. "How long was I offline?" 487 years, Commander." He blinked. "That long, huh?" He looked at his arm. Skin was healing fast. His vision had returned. But his mind felt heavy memories slowly unlocking. Project Aurora. Did it survive? Affirmative. Aurora Protocol is live. Empire systems are being mapped and infiltrated. Elias stood up slowly. Then it begins. Up above, Zaranthian Control Tower technician Virix panicked. His screens were full of errors. Unauthorized access. AI breach detected. Signal. Source, ancient Earth frequency. Lord Vezith stormed in. "Explain," Virix stuttered. "It's the human. He's using an old system Earth code we've never seen before." "Our firewalls are useless," Vezith growled. "Cut off the lower levels. Collapse the tunnels." Virix looked at him in fear. "That might destroy the arena's core and the city's energy grid." "Then do it," Vezith shouted, but even as he gave the order, it was too late. Inside the arena core, secret facility, Elias stood now, dressed in a lightweight black combat suit that formed around his body. It was old human tech, but more advanced than anything the Empire had seen in centuries. Before him stood a large circular console. Blue lights formed a map of the entire Zaranthian capital. Empire network, 16% compromised. Security. Nodes, falling. Drone control, redirecting. Elias looked at the map. He saw where he had been kept his cage. the spot where Vezith had mocked him. He touched a point on the map. Start feeding their systems. Fear. Elsewhere, across the Empire on the streets, traffic lights flickered. Advertisement screens changed. Instead of alien products, they showed an old human symbol, a circle with a burning star. People stopped and stared. On military ships, weapons. Systems powered down. Navigation froze. Pilots screamed as controls failed. On a news broadcast, the anchor spoke normally until his voice was taken over. Attention, Empire citizens. You once feared the humans, then you forgot them. You laughed. Now we return. Back at the tower, Vezith stared at the screen in horror. How is this happening? Varix whispered. The human wasn't just a soldier. He was a carrier, a key to something bigger. Something we don't understand. Vezith grabbed him by the collar. Stop it. I can't, Varix cried. It's already in. It's rewriting our code. Suddenly, the lights went out. Everything turned dark. Flashback 60 years after Earth fell in a distant part of the galaxy. A group of young Zaranthian cadets studied ancient wars. One of them raised a hand. Why did the humans lose? The instructor answered, because they were weak, emotional, disorganized. Another asked, why did they fight so hard? The instructor smiled, because they were fools. What? No. One knew what history forgot was that Earth had left behind something more dangerous than weapons. Its memory. Back in the chamber, Elias walked down a glowing hallway. As he passed, old machines activated. Lights came on. Doors opened. He passed a wall full of names engraved in stone. Human names. He stopped and placed a hand on it. I didn't forget you. He walked into the next room. A large pod stood. In the center, inside, a cube of light, spinning. Core AI beacon, ready for deployment. Elias spoke calmly. Run mission overview. ***, Project Aurora. Emergency plan in case of Earth's fall. Objectives. Infiltrate alien systems, reactivate human sleeper tech, awaken hidden soldiers, break the chain of alien control. ***, Elias smiled slightly. Time to break the chain. Capital Skyport, Saintima Zaranthian noblewoman was preparing her ship for takeoff when her AI spoke. Warning. Unknown command override. Engines offline. What? Reset. The screen flickered. A human face appeared. Not real but digital. Eyes full of fire. We are still here. Her ship exploded seconds later, silently hacked and detonated from beneath. Empire Palace. Emergency Council high nobles gathered. Fear on their faces. The humans are extinct, one shouted. This is some trick. Another said, if it's real, and they're back, we must act now. A third noble added, this may be part of a bigger plan, a war we never expected. Lord. Vezith entered, slamming the door. It's real, I saw him. He bled, he broke, but he was not beaten. The others looked at him. And now? One asked. Vezith stared at the hologram of Earth spinning in the center of the room. Now, he said, we pay for our arrogance. Underground hidden data chamber. Elias entered a vault lined with cryopods. Rows and rows of them. He looked at the panel. Status? Sleepers, 154 active. Revival possible. Locations across the galaxy. Confirmed. He thought for a moment, then said, wake them slowly. Let them know we're back. The chamber lights flashed. Across the stars. Hidden bases began to stir. Human survivors, forgotten and sleeping, began to wake. Meanwhile, Zaranthian space, an old Earth satellite, once thought dead, activated its warp link. It sent a coded pulse far into deep space. The signal hit something. Massive, something hidden in a dark sector of the galaxy. A giant human warship, shaped like a spear, powered on. Receiving activation code. Elias Wren. Status, alive. Its engines roared. Destination locked. Zaranthian capital. Control Tower Virix received the final message. He stared at Vezith. "My lord, something big is coming." Vezith asked, "How big?" Virix's voice shook. "A ship. Earth-class dreadnought. We thought they were all gone." Vezith whispered. "They weren't gone. Just waiting." Back with Elias, he sat quietly in the control chair. The AI asked, "Final command for Phase 2? Elias looked up at the hologram of the Empire. "Let them remember fear." Night, Zaranthian capital, Central Palace. The Zaranthian palace stood tall like a mountain of silver. Its towers reached the clouds. Around it were thick walls, energy barriers, and drone patrols. No one had ever broken in, but tonight, something was different. The air was quiet, not too quiet. Guards patrolled the halls with sharp weapons and glowing armor. They moved in groups of 4. They didn't laugh. They didn't speak. Ever since the incident at the arena, fear had grown inside the Empire. Lord Vezith had returned to the palace with rage in his eyes, and something else, uncertainty, inside. "The control room, Palace Level 5, status check," said Commander Krall. "Head of Security. A young officer replied, "Systems online. All gates secure. Sensors show no intrusion." Krall frowned. "Double the inner patrols. Lock all doors past Level 3. "But sir," Krall stared at him. That human walked out of an energy cage. "I don't want to find out what he can do inside a palace." Elsewhere, deep in the shadows, something moved silently through the service tunnels. It moved fast. Quiet, invisible to cameras. Elias was inside. He wore a dark armor suit that shimmered with nano-camouflage. His body had fully healed. The AI in his neural link guided him as he moved. "You are approaching Level 4. Security grid. Hacked. Enemy positions. Marked." He paused behind a ventilation shaft. Through the small gaps he saw 2 guards speaking. "They say the human controls machines." One guard whispered. "I heard he called a ship from Earth," the other said. "A ghost ship." They both laughed nervously. Then their helmets shut off. Both dropped to the floor. Silently, neural shocks delivered through hacked suit systems. Elias moved on. Flashback years ago. Human training base. A young Elias stood before a group of soldiers. His voice was calm, firm. "We don't win wars by being stronger," he said. "We win by being smarter." He smiled slightly and quieter. Present. Palace Level 4. In a hidden chamber, Lord Vezith stood before a massive vault. Inside it was a glowing artifact, a cube spinning with golden light. His personal advisor asked, "My lord, why not destroy it?" Vezith touched the glass. "This was taken from Earth before it fell," he said. "Our scientists say it's a power core. But it won't open. They say it speaks. Whispers in a strange code." He paused. "It calls itself the heart of Earth." Meanwhile, Elias approaching the vault. The AI whispered in his ear. "Energy signature detected. Artifact confirmed. You are 60 meters from target. Caution, 6 guards, reinforced wall, laser grid." Elias took a breath. "Show me the quietest way." "Control room, alert sounds, sir." The young officer shouted. "We just lost 2 guards on Level 4. No gunfire, no signals, just gone." Krall stood. "He's here." The Zeph's voice came through the radio. "Send everything. Stop him." Krall gave the order. "Seal the vault floor. Release the hounds." Palace Level 4 tension builds. Alarms turned red. Metal doors slammed shut, but Elias was already inside the wall. Literally. He crawled through a narrow maintenance channel that ran beside the vault. His suit created a noise-dampening field. His body made no sound. 2 guards directly ahead. Silent takedown mode. Ready. Elias smiled. He tapped his wrist. The floor beneath the guards lit up. An old human trap signal sent through the palace wiring. Both guards fell. Shocked and paralyzed, Elias stepped out of the wall. Inside the vault room, the artifact cube glowed brighter. As Elias approached, it recognized him. Identity match, Commander Elias Wren. Unlocking final stage of Project Aurora. The glass cracked. The cube floated into the air. Tiny lights spun around Elias. He reached out. The artifact settled into his palm. His AI spoke. You now hold the central memory core of Earth. All Empire systems can now be overwritten. You are no longer a soldier. You are the command signal. Elias whispered. Time to finish what they started. Security response arrives 20. Soldiers crawl burst into the room with elite guards. There. He pointed. Fire at will. Blasters fired, but they hit nothing. Elias moved fast, too fast. His armor bent light, made him vanish. He dropped 2 guards with stun darts. Another turned, but saw only shadows before collapsing. Crawl screamed. Use neural disruptors. Elias felt a sharp shock, but his eye blocked most of it. He jumped up, kicked off a pillar, and landed behind Crawl. Whispered in his ear, too slow, and knocked him out. Vezith watches from a safe room. He saw the footage and turned pale. That cube, he has it, he said. I thought it was locked forever. His advisor asked, what will you do now, my lord? Vezith stared into the camera. Call the Black Sun Fleet. I want the entire city sealed. And the humans? They wanted war, Vezith said. I'll show them extinction. Outside the palace, citizens noticed strange signal screens. Flickered. Buildings blinked with blue lights. Old Earth messages appeared. We are awake. We are many. We are coming. Fear spread. Nobles locked their doors. Merchants closed shops. Commoners whispered, the humans have returned. Elias escapes into lower tunnels with the artifact in hand. Elias moved fast. His map showed hidden tunnels leading out of the palace. Enemy air units incoming. Palace drone control detected nearby. Elias entered a drone bay. Robotic flyers stood silent. He raised the artifact. It glowed. All drones turned to face him. Command accepted. Awaiting orders. He pointed upward. Take out their eyes. Above the palace, drone uprising. Dozens of drones launched skyward faster than any Zaranthian expected. In seconds, enemy surveillance towers exploded. Empire communication lines cut off. Inside his ship, Lord Vezith screamed in rage. This is my world. Elias, final moments of the escape, ran across a rooftop. Fires burned across the city. Sirens rang. Ships fell from the sky. Phase 2 complete, said the AI. Earth signal sent to all known colonies. Human sleeper agents waking now. Elias stood on the edge of the building. Small black ship hovered in front of him. The door opened. Inside was another human. Woman. She smiled. Commander, you made quite an entrance. Elias smiled back. And I'm just getting started. He jumped aboard. The ship vanished into the night. The small black ship cut through the dark sky like a shadow. Inside, Elias sat silently beside the woman who had welcomed him aboard. Her name was Myra. She was a human too. But unlike Elias, she had never been frozen in time. She was part of the hidden resistance scattered across the galaxy. We've been waiting for you, Commander, Myra said quietly. The artifact you hold, it's more than power, it's a key. Elias looked at the glowing cube in his palm. A key to what? To the Lost Vault, Myra replied. The vault contains something the Empire has kept hidden for centuries, something they stole from Earth. Elias's eyes narrowed. What? Flashback. A long time ago in a secret Zaranthian chamber, deep beneath Earth's surface, the alien leaders gathered around a glowing object. This is the prize, their leader said. It holds the future of the humans. With this, we control them forever. The object was a small shining sphere older than time itself. It was the core of Human will dot when the Empire took it. Human resistance was broken. Without it, Earth's people lost their strongest spirit. Present black ship. Traveling through space, Mira and Elias looked at each other. If we get the cube to that vault, we can restore what was lost, Mira said. We can give humans their strength back, Elias nodded. Then we must move fast. The ship's I spoke up. Warning. Empire fleets detected near the capital. They are hunting Commander Wren. Elias gripped the cube tighter. They want to take this back. Zaranthian War Room Lord Vezith stood before a massive hologram of the galaxy. His face was dark with anger. Find the human, he barked at his generals. Find the artifact. Bring it to me. A cold, tall general stepped forward. My lord, we have intercepted their ship's signals. They are heading toward the ancient vault on Zyron 7. Vezith smiled cruelly. Then we will meet them there. Prepare the fleet. Inside the ship, Elias. Watch the stars rush by. Mira studied the map. Suddenly, alarms blared. Enemy fleet closing fast, the AI said. Elias stood. Prepare for battle. The ship shuddered as lasers hit the hull. Battle in space, the black ship weaved through the enemy fleet, firing back. Elias coordinated with Mira, who hacked into the ship's weapons. We have to reach Zyron 7, she said. If we fail, humanity's last hope dies here. Elias focused on piloting. One of the enemy ships locked on. Missile incoming. Mira shouted. Elias dodged just in time. Zyron 7, ancient vault planet. The black ship landed on a barren, rocky surface. Elias and Mira stepped out. The air was thin and cold. In the distance stood a huge door carved into the mountainside. This is it, Mira said. The vault. Vault entrance. The door had no handle. Only symbols. Elias held up the glowing cube. The symbols lit up. Slowly. The door began to open with a loud rumble. Inside. The vault was dark and silent. Inside the vault, Elias and Mira moved carefully. In the center was a pedestal with a dark sphere. The core of human will, Elias whispered. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Empire's forces had arrived. Battle inside. The vault soldiers poured in. Elias raised the glowing cube. A wave of energy shot out, pushing enemies back. Mira fired her blaster. Fought side by side. Final showdown. Lord Vezith appeared with elite guards. He sneered. Give me the artifact, human. Elias said, this belongs to Earth. Vezith attacked. Elias blocked, then used the cube's power to weaken him. Victory. Veth fell. The remaining soldiers fled. Elias placed the dark sphere on the pedestal. Vault lit up with energy. The prize restored. Light filled the room. Elias felt strength return. The humans will rise again, he said. Mira smiled. And this time we will win. The light from the vault faded slowly, leaving the rocky surface bathed in pale moonlight. Elias and Mira stood outside, the air cold and still. The dark sphere, the core of human will, had been restored. Its power now hummed quietly beneath the ground. Elias looked up at the stars. The galaxy seemed bigger, more alive. We've done it, Mira said softly. But this is only the start. Elias nodded. The Empire will not forget. Vezith will come for us. Back in the Empire, Zaranthian capital, Lord Vezith sat in his throne room, furious but calculating. The humans have stolen our prize, he growled. His generals bowed. We will hunt them to the ends of the galaxy. Vezith smiled darkly. No, we will not just hunt them. We will destroy their hope. He waved his hand, activating a large hologram of the galaxy. Send the shadows. What are the shadows? The shadows were Zarent's deadliest warriors, elite, invisible, and silent killers trained for secret missions. Their leader was a woman named Kira. She was as cold as ice and loyal only to Vezith. Kira stood before Vezith. I will find the humans and bring the core back, my lord. Vezith nodded. Do whatever it takes. Fail, and you will never see daylight again. Meanwhile, Elias and Mira, the small black ship, hovered above Xiron 7. Inside, Elias examined the core. This power, I can feel it, he said. It's like the heart of humanity is beating again. Mira checked their communications. We need allies. The resistance is weak and scattered. Elias's jaw tightened. Then we gather them. Gathering the resistance, the ship traveled to a secret base on a moon called Talros. There, humans who had hidden for centuries lived underground. Elias entered the base, his presence stirring hope and fear. Commander Ren, a leader named Jara, greeted him. We heard the Empire is hunting you. Elias showed the core. We have a chance to win. Jara studied the artifact. If this is true, we can rebuild. Tensions rose. Not everyone trusted Elias. A young fighter, Torin, stepped forward. How? Do we know this isn't a trap? The Empire is powerful. Elias met his eyes. Because I've seen what they do. And I've felt their fear. Mira added, the core gives us power to fight back. But it won't work if we don't believe in ourselves. Training and preparation days passed as the resistance prepared. Elias trained fighters in new tactics. He taught them to fight smart, to use stealth and technology. The core hummed with power nearby. But danger was coming. The shadows arrived one night. The base's alarm sounded. Kira and her shadows had found them, silent and deadly. They moved through the dark tunnels. Elias rallied. The fighters, hold your ground, he said. Battle underground. The shadows attacked like ghosts. Elias and his team fought fiercely. Mira used the core's energy to shield them. Torin surprised everyone, taking down a shadow leader. But Kira reached the core chamber. Showdown with Kira. Kira faced Elias, cold and merciless. You will fail, she said. The Empire never loses. Elias raised the core. We're not giving up. They fought, power against power. Elias used the core's strength to push her back. Kira retreated, but warned, this isn't over. Aftermath. The resistance had won the battle, but at a cost. Many were injured. The base was damaged. Elias looked at the core. We need to be ready. The Empire will come again. Mira nodded. And next time, they'll bring everything. Hope. In darkness, Elias gathered the survivors. We fight not just for ourselves, but for all humans. The core glowed softly. In that light, the resistance found new hope. Outer space. Above Talros' moon, the stars above Talros were no longer peaceful. Hundreds of Empire ships now floated in the void, blocking every escape route. On the bridge of the Empire's flagship, Lord Vezith stood tall, eyes burning with hate. The humans think they have hope, he said to his commanders. Let's show them what fear really means. Behind him, a large hologram flickered. It showed a signal pattern marked in red. Project Aurora Judgment Protocol. Waking. Vezith's face darkened. End it before it begins. Underground human base. Taurut deep inside the tunnels. Elias stood before the glowing core of human will. Around him, engineers worked fast. Fighters loaded weapons. Children and elders were being moved to safer chambers. Mira rushed in with a datapad. We have a problem. Enemy ships are everywhere. We're completely surrounded. Elias nodded calmly. Let them come. Mira looked confused. That's your plan? Elias stepped forward and placed both hands on the core. Activating Judgment Protocol. Identifying Commander Code, Elias Ren. Confirming Memory Sequence. Warning, once activated, this cannot be stopped. Elias whispered, I know, start it. Flashback to 500 years ago, a group of human leaders stood in a circle deep under old Earth. One of them, General Talia Ren, said, if the Empire destroys US, we leave behind not just history but a second chance. Another scientist replied, the Judgment Protocol will only wake if our species faces extinction. They sealed the chamber. It was built not to fight a battle, but to end a war. Present. Talro's command room suddenly. Lights flickered. The core's glow turned red. Mira stared at the system logs. Old Earth satellites reactivating. Deep space defense beacons responding. Judgment protocol 12% complete. Torin, now one of the base's leaders, asked, "What is this judgment thing?" Elias turned to him. "A message. A warning, and if needed, a final weapon." Empire flagship, enemy side of Vezith's second-in-command, ran to the screen. "My lord, something is happening. Old human signals, military grade, are moving through space." "Stop them," Vezith shouted. "We can't. They're waking up old human tech we didn't even know existed." Vezith crushed a cup in his hand. "Then destroy the moon. Fire the primary cannon." Talro's moon surface massive cannons on the Empire ships began charging. But before they could fire, a strange sound echoed across space. It wasn't a weapon. It was a voice. Ancient, cold, human. To those who forgot. "U.S. we remember. To those who mocked us. We rise. This is humanity's judgment." Suddenly, several Empire ships exploded without warning, taken over by old Earth defense codes sent through light signals. Inside the base, shock and awe. The people of Tauros watched as the sky above flashed with fire. "Did we do that?" Torin asked. Elias stepped forward. "No, the truth did. Judgment protocol. Phase 2, the core glowed brighter. Hidden human satellites in dead zones turned back online. On distant planets where humans had been forced into slavery, chains opened. Camps shut down. Human rebels looked up and saw Earth's emblem appear in the sky, not physically, but as a signal in their minds. You are not forgotten. Judgment has begun. Meanwhile, Empire reaction panic spread. Cities on far planets lost power. Drones betrayed their masters. Alien soldiers turned on each other. Systems confused by Earth. Code embedded long ago. In his palace, Vezith screamed, "How is this possible?" His advisor whispered, "They planned for this, even in death. They planned." Elias's speech to the resistance in the Tauros base hall. Elias stood before his people. He spoke into a camera, sending his voice to every human system across the galaxy. 500 years ago, we were almost destroyed. But we didn't die, we waited. We built a future underground, in shadows and silence. We didn't forget who we were. He held up the core, and now they will remember who we are. The Empire attacks, not ready to surrender. The Empire launched a ground assault. Dropships crashed into Tauros' surface. Thousands of alien soldiers stormed the tunnels. Torin and Mira led the first defense. Elias stood with a new weapon in his hand, powered by the core. Battle of Tauros begins. The humans fought bravely. They used guerrilla tactics, traps, and hacked weapons. Mira shot down a commander with a reprogrammed drone. Torin planted charges under a tunnel and sealed it behind them. Elias moved like a ghost, fast, precise, leading his people. Lord Vezith lands furious and desperate. Vezith himself landed with a death squad. He marched through smoke and fire, determined to face Elias. "He thinks he can rewrite history," Vezith growled. "I'll erase him personally." Final confrontation, Elias versus Vezith deep in the core chamber. Elias waited. Vezith arrived, eyes full of hate. "You think you're special, human, just a virus in a dying machine." Elias stood calmly. "No, I'm the update. And your time is expired." They clashed. Vezith had brute strength, sharp alien weapons. But Elias had something more, the will of billions of forgotten humans behind him. Each blow shook the chamber. The core pulsed. And then Elias struck the final blow. Vezith fell to his knees. "You can't win," Elias said. "I already did." He placed his hand on the core. Judgment protocol. Final stage, core status, 100%. Empire threat level, critical. Execute last sequence? Elias nodded. Let it be done. Across the galaxy, all Empire systems failed at once. Ships lost power, weapons deactivated. AI turned against their masters. Screens across thousands of worlds displayed one final message. Humanity returns. The darkness ends today. Vezith's end as power left his body. Vezith whispered one last word. Impossible. And then, silence. After the battle towers was quiet again, bodies were buried. Wounds healed. But this time, hope lived. Humans from all corners of the galaxy sent messages to Toros. We're alive. We're ready. Command us. Elias looked at Mira. It's no longer just survival, he said. It's rebirth. She nodded. And they'll never laugh at us again. The battle was over. For the first time in many years, the skies above Tauros were quiet. No enemy ships, no laser fire. Just stars blinking slowly, like the galaxy was breathing again. Elias stood on the rooftop of the Resistance base. He watched. The horizon, dark but peaceful. Mira walked up behind him. It's done, she said. Elias nodded. Yes, but now we have to rebuild everything. 2. The last message from the core inside the control room. The core of human will glowed. Softer now, not red, not angry, just calm. A final message appeared on the main screen. Protocol complete. Earth legacy status, passed on. Command transferred, human free will. Mira read it aloud. We're on our own now. Elias smiled gently. That's exactly what we've always needed. 3. News spreads across the stars from broken moons to deep mining colonies. Humans everywhere receive the same message. The Empire has fallen. You are free. Tauros leads now. In underground stations, people cried and hugged. On silent factory planets, workers dropped their tools and looked up. Stunned, some fell to their knees. Others stood tall. For the first time in generations, humans were no longer running. 4. The Galactic Broadcast Mira helped set up a galaxy-wide broadcast. Elias stepped into the room, now clean and fully repaired after the battle. Lights came on. Cameras activated. Billions waited to hear what he would say. He stood tall and began. This is Elias Wren. I am not your king. I am not your ruler. I am one of you, a human who was once laughed at, hurt, and nearly broken. But we stood together. And now we rise together. He paused. His voice grew stronger. The Empire fell because they believed pain was power. But we showed them will is stronger than weapons, and no one laughs at us anymore. Across space, people cheered. 5. Vezith's world, now empty. The Empire's capital planet, once filled with nobles, banners and pride, now sat in silence. Its statues had fallen, its streets were empty. One small rebel flag flew at the center of the main square, a simple hand, open, reaching upward, the symbol of human hope. Kira, the former shadow assassin, now walked through the ruins. She had survived, but she no longer worked for the Empire. She now protected human colonies, in secret, from any new threat that might rise. 6. The return to Earth. A few weeks later, Elias and Mira entered a small, ancient ship. Destination, Earth. The planet had been abandoned for centuries, left behind during the Great Escape. But now, it was time to go back. The ship landed softly on green grass. Trees had grown wild. Oceans were clean again. They stepped outside. Elias looked around. This is where it all began. Mira touched the soil. And this is where we begin again. 7. The memory chamber. Deep under old Earth's surface, they found a hidden chamber. It was dusty and cracked, but still alive. Screens flickered. A small device blinked blue. Elias approached. A voice played, old but warm. If you are hearing this, humanity has survived. It was General Talia Wren, Elias's ancestor. Remember, our power was never in ships or weapons. Our strength was our will to stand back up. We were laughed at, beaten, scattered, but we never gave in. And because of that, we laugh last. 8. Celebration on Talros. Back on Talros, humans gathered in the main plaza. Children danced. Old warriors told stories, and everywhere, people smiled without fear. Torin gave a speech to young fighters. You were born in darkness, he said. But now you'll grow up in the light. 9. The Museum of the Fall. Elias helped build a small museum near the core chamber. Inside, they placed a broken Empire helmet, Vezith's sword, and fragments of old resistance gear. A sign above the door read, "Never again slaves." Visitors walked through the halls and whispered to each other. Some cried, some laughed. All remembered. 10. Mira's journal in her room. Mira wrote in a journal, "We lost many, we fought hard. And now we live. Free, but freedom is not the end. It is the beginning." She closed the book and placed it beside her bed. Outside, the sky turned orange. Peaceful. 11. Elias's final decision. Elias sat alone on a rock near the edge of the base. Mira joined him. "What now?" she asked. He didn't answer for a while. Then he said, "I won't lead forever. I'll step down soon." Mira looked surprised. "You rebuilt a galaxy." Elias smiled. "That's the point. A real leader knows when to stop leading." He stood. "Others will take over. This world doesn't need heroes anymore." 12. A young girl's question. Later that evening, a small girl walked up to Elias. She was no older than 6. "Are you the man who made the Empire go away?" she asked. Elias knelt down. "No, little one, we all did." She tilted her head. "But everyone says you're special." He thought for a moment, then said, "I'm just the first one who stopped being afraid." She smiled and ran off. Elias watched her go, full of energy, full of life. 13. Final scene, a new dawn. As the sun rose over Talros, the people came out into the light. No more hiding. No more running. Ships lifted off, not for war, but for discovery. To reconnect lost human worlds. To start trade, build schools, and tell stories. A banner flew above the base. We laugh last. Elias stood at the edge of the platform, watching the future fly into the stars. He whispered one final sentence. "Let them write new stories now," and he turned away. Smiling, the end.